I tried this, it did not work. But if it's somebody maybe outsourced it, you don't have that hands-on understanding of what exact experience of what the thing is all about.
You will ask before.
I think you can only need probably questions when you are directly involved with what you're doing.
So it goes back to being directly involved.
Exactly. If you are in your destiny is in his hands or her hands. So I would just say,
not in the hands in Jesus' name. I bear the spirit. Bismillah. Hi guys, welcome to another episode, and this is us trying to say thank you. I think our last video did very good, the one where we discussed on and off campus with our beloved friend, and here we're here again for another episode, and today we have a very compelling topic. I think we plan to take another one next week, so you guys just stay tuned. But today we're going to be talking about the final year problem, or what is called wahala. And I have my beautiful wife here with me today. So let me just have her give us your welcome speech.
My welcome speech.
Yep.
So my name is Vimi. I'm here again. We took a break at a point, but we're back here again anyway. So, and he thanked you for the views for the last episode we recorded.
Yeah.
So we hope this one is also going to be both informative and entertaining.
Yep.
I know we had a lot of final year experiences to share, and I think it might help you. It should help you, I guess.
Okay. So yes, if you've not seen the video last week, we spoke about the problems with staying on and off campus. Although our view was a bit skewed to OAU, but we're trying to get more guests. So we'll have like a series on that where we discuss on and off campus, different places. Yeah.
Schools, yeah.
We could even come to America, and house students who are based in America as we are. Yeah. So yes, let's go to our topic for today, maybe another type of series. And we're going to be speaking about final year problems, the different issues you can have with your lecturers. So let's start. What do you think about this system in Nigeria where you're assigned projects? You're not necessarily influencing the project, let's call it research. Do you think it's a good system? Do you think people should try to work on what they have at heart? Are there problems with that? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of similar with even the US system. I don't know any final year students, but I worked with a team of they call it senior. What do they call them? Seniors. Yes, they call them seniors here. Those are like final year students. So they didn't. It's almost the same system. Yeah, working in teams. I think that's probably the major difference.
Yep.
In Nigeria, at least in my own experience, it was just me working on my own projects. Even though I had a partner, but he was working on a separate project, same line, 3D printing, but it's different projects.
Sure.
So you're the one spearheading almost everything. But with the seniors project, they call it capstone projects.
Yep.
For those that are familiar with that in the US system. So what they did is that I think they have a list of topics also. The same way we also had a list of topics, and they are like picking what they're interested in, and then they come together as a team. Maybe like it's a capstone project which runs for two semesters, same as Nigeria anyway. So, but it's just that team collaboration that actually works well. But with the issue of topics assigned, I think you don't really have much control over it.
Do you think it's good? Is it a plus or a minus where you can't control? Yeah.
There's good and bad, because if you say you want to work on, let's say, this passion project, it's good that you have something in mind you want to work on, but it might not be feasible, and you need guidance. That's why you have like supervisors to guide you. And for in a department, you have supervisors that have their interests, have their strengths. So if I'm picking, let's say, mechatronics, and there's nobody in the department that can help me, so will I have to go outside of the department to go and look for somebody to supervise me, something like that. So usually they have tailored topics, at least in Nigeria, tailored topics based on the supervisors or the faculty members that they have at hand. Then you can pick something that best suits your interest. It might not be exactly what you want to do, but best suits. Same thing here.
Yes, but for instance, let me use we have a bit of experience. They are like preferred lecturers where you have probably serious students wanting to work with supposed serious lecturers.
Yeah.
And then usually you might not have a couple of them. Like you don't have the most preferred might not be more than 2 or 3 in a department of, let's say you have 12 lecturers in that sense.
Okay.
And you see that many students, let's say between 4 and 10, are trying to they are trying to beat to get, I mean, those serious students want to get it. And usually, eventually, they just assign you. And then they assign you to someone you might not, tilt to in that sense. So do you still think that the students will have that motive or would have that desire to carry? Because I know here, much of what people do here is research based.
Yes.
So even, when you want to get a lecturer, it's easy for you to, yes, we know that, again, comparatively, there are some people too that might not be as involving even in America here, but eventually every lecturer they have a sense of research, something like that. They try to work with students to the best of their ability.
Okay.
But from where we come from, many might not be so in line with working with students. It's just more like just bring your reports.
Yeah, I think because like universities, I don't know about some, but I know some, like they refer to our school as like a research university.
Yep.
So I don't know whether there's some schools that like teaching universities.
Oh, in Nebraska here. Yep, that's true.
Exactly. So because it's research based, most of our I don't know the percentage, but most of our funding that I know of comes from research. So because of that, obviously the faculty members are mostly research based, and I understand that at least working with students that I've done so far, like even before they get to their final year, before they become seniors, they've had opportunities to work with faculty members. So exactly. So final year is not like the first time that they are saying, oh, research. So some of them already have that prior, like they say, oh, I'm an undergraduate researcher or something like that. So already has that kind of prior rapport with some faculty members, and I know the kind of research that is being done. Like currently I'm working with a high school student. She's not even done with high school and she's already doing research in her lab. So something like that, like they already had that kind of, so it's not like final year is like your first experience with research. So I think that's probably one thing that we can work on. So even from like first year, second year, people are already like doing research.
Because my point is, we're right, and that is even how like majority of Nigerian students know a prospective, like hardworking, someone trying to help. Is from maybe like
class projects.
Exactly. There are lecturers that they don't do class projects, and those who do class projects, you see how involved they are in, and then you say,
materials.
This is the guy I would love to work with.
Yes.
And eventually the list is out. Again, I don't know. There's a bit of politics too, if we're sincere. But the list,
because I think like when in our time, like there was a list posted, and then you kind of like pick your topic, and then you go and meet the like lecturer in charge, and say, oh, I want to do this, and then he will not decide whether to take you or not. So if you as a serious student,
that's an ideal case though. But
you as a serious student, supposedly serious student, obviously final year is not the first time they've met you. So you've probably taken a course with them before, so that will influence. Now, even here, it's not really about politics or no politics.
It will influence.
Like even here, like obviously, it's not every student that's accepted to every lab.
Sure.
So they would have watched you to see, are you my lab worthy? Are you worthy of being in my lab? So if somebody, like maybe a student in maybe third year, takes a course and fails it and wants to enter the lab of the person whose course, obviously the person would not want to agree.
Very true.
Yes, so same with us too. Like final year students, the person, like the faculty members or the lecturers who have seen that, oh, this person is serious, I want this person to work with me, or this person is not serious, I don't want this person. So that kind of thing.
That works. So eventually, based on our experience, which again is subject to a bit of debate, it looks like your supervisor will do some form of background check if he's a serious supervisor.
If it's serious, but if not serious, then all of you match together. So a serious student, a serious supervisor.
My own case was really very peculiar, and I'm grateful for how mine was really peculiar. I pitched, and we had discussions around it, and I had passion for that field, and during my IT I'd even worked on things like that. So to pitch it is more like,
so wait, did you pitch the exact topic or
no.
what? Okay, so still part of the list.
So what I did was, because I liked the lecturer, now a professor. He's a professor. So what I did was I had to look at his previous projects.
Okay.
And then I spoke with him Now, I did speak with him. I just spoke with him on the project, and he was like, "Oh, that this is what he has done and different things."
On the project you wanted to do, or the project on the list?
On the project he has done.
Oh, he has. Okay.
That was even before we went on IT.
Oh.
That was why I was really serious with doing ANSYS. Yeah, you see that 3 of us were really intentional. Okay. So all of us went to, but I think I came back with ANSYS knowledge. Then I influenced the other 2, which eventually worked with him. So I was like, but my point is that if you really speak to them, and they see that willingness, you can actually influence the topic, but you don't have to go, because he told me that he would not tell me the topic before, because of, that's why I said politics will come into it, departmental politics, so it does not look like he is favoring a particular person. But I already worked in that ANSYS line. In short, we had a discussion, and when I picked the topic again, thank God. Yeah, but another, a non-ideal case would be maybe you did all of that and eventually you picked a topic and the lecturer did not pick you. So what will you have to say to a student like that?
So before I get answer your question, in my own case, I saw the list of topics and I saw the topic that interested me. I think I was open, although because during my IT, I think the IT, like your choice of IT actually plays a whole lot of
big role.
Like some people say, oh, they're going on IT and then they see it as an opportunity to just sleep at home,
flex,
rest and flex. But yeah, where I did my IT AEA, Automation and Engineering Academy, Ibadan. So that's
She's always making noise about this. Engineer what again? I think yeah, I don't know. We can send him a link, but you really influenced anytime. I think I met him once like that.
Did you?
Yeah, I met him once here in Lagos, but he didn't know who I was. He just shook my hands and we left. But he wouldn't know every time. Engineer, got to please go on.
Yeah, he didn't number me. So, but the experience actually played a huge role on like my final year project, because we did like a lot of automation, industrial automation, home automation, additive manufacturing. That was the first time I had like hands-on experience with a 3D printer. So when I saw the topics and I saw like development of a 3D printer, I was like, oh, this is it.
So yours was not even based on the lecturer in charge?
No, it was just
more
based on the topic, yeah. So it was like I wanted to do this topic. Whoever they put me with, that's what I wanted to do. So that was my own experience.
Okay.
But to answer your question, so to answer your question about like if there's a topic that you are interested in and then you eventually don't get it, I would just see it as a learning experience. There are some things I'm doing now that I don't exactly like, but why are you laughing? Which I'll talk about in the future when I graduate.
Let's go on.
Yeah, so there are some things I'm doing now which I don't.
We'll talk about maybe in off camera, because is it that you don't like, or maybe the whole vibes? Because I think that really we can work in anything, but maybe the feedback and what you're getting might influence your liking or not liking it.
Yeah, probably yes. Because there's nothing. There's something. Well, I don't think there's anything I would say I absolutely hate.
Yep.
Like like good things. I'm talking about like good things. So, but there's some things that I might not really fancy, but
okay,
I can do it.
Let's go.
So it's not like passion, but yeah. So anyway, so there's some things that I am doing now, which let me put it this way, that I feel like I don't need, but I'm just opening my mind, like trying to expand my mind that okay, probably somewhere down the line the knowledge might come in handy somewhere. So that's what I would advise somebody that has a topic that you may not really like. I would say it's just a year. Like, yeah, a year can play a big role, but just take that time and learn as much as possible. Maybe it's data collection you're doing. Just see it as like a skill, like a building skills, whether data collection or maybe programming, whatever it is. Just take it as, yes, I know I may not really see myself doing this in future, but there's always something to learn in any
field.
Yeah.
So the supervisor should not be your goal in that sense. Is that your own point of view? Because I'm strong on supervisor though, but from what you're saying now, you're saying that the person should focus more on the learning outcomes, which is what everybody should do.
I would say yes. I would say focus more on the learning outcome than I know the person, like the supervisor plays a role.
Yeah.
But if you dwell too much on the supervisor, or you almost like offload all your expectation on the supervisor, I don't think it's also fair on the supervisor's why are you laughing now?
Yeah,
On the supervisor's part.
in parables. Please go on.
Yeah, so but I think like it's your project. Just take it as your project, and it's a prerequisite to graduate.
Okay.
So, and also a learning opportunity for you.
Yep.
So I would just say, be it as it may, whatever comes your way, just face it head on. And last, just take it as a learning curve, or it's kind of like a training, it's self training. So yeah, the supervisor plays a part, but I would say probably focus more on what you intend to learn. Like even the worst advisors in the world, you can learn something from it. You can learn not to be a good, like not to be a bad advisor.
So looking at what you're saying now, you're trying to say, and that will be the eventual goal of this podcast or this episode, that people should always see things as a learning curve, and so you should not dwell so much on the supervisor. What about those, which is the next point of question, that their supervisor is always telling them, come back next week. You put up something, he has not checked it, just come back next week. When eventually he checks it, which is, again, it's a Nigerian context too. And then he just maybe, you sent in chapter 1, introduction, chapter 1, chapter 2, and he just puts red biro and tears it off and say, go and do this. Again, maybe because of we have been privileged from OAU, and let's say OAU MEC, it's a really beautiful department for both of us. So we didn't have that problem. My supervisor will call me in the middle of the night. I don't know if that's a problem for you, but for me it wasn't then, because I can't forget we're doing answers together. Even I think our report was more like an expansion of the paper we wrote, because we wrote papers. So the whole report to the department was, paper takes more preeminence. But the point is, you have such cases where people, we've heard that, just cycle and throw it away, and then the morale is down. What advice will you give to someone in that circle or in that problem?
Yeah, I think because we have not been in that kind of situation, so I will not.
They will say you've not won the issue before.
So the issue does not fit. So, but I think what I've learned over time, like even where I am now, is like sometimes just having a discussion, like almost not heart to heart, but like a discussion, like, okay, what do you want me to do? So if you are canceling something, that means there's something you want to see. Probably I'm not showing it to you. So what do you want to see? Like, let that communication be clear. So I think it's having.
Again, don't forget we're speaking because we're.
That's the thing. Yeah, because we are here.
Because a traditional mindset of a lecturer who is meant to be higher than a student. And again, I must always say this, that I've had conversations with lecturers, and Nigerians tend to say, oh, lecturers try to put themselves up there, but many times they've given opportunity to students that also brought them down. So in that sense, I think it's their own mechanism to ensure there's
that power.
Exactly. No, I would say respect.
Okay, reverence.
Because for instance, let's say you're working with a lecturer and he gives you access to his office, for instance, and the first day, out of honor and respect, you close the door, you ensure you swept and everything. There's a tendency, if you're not somebody who is well trained, that the third week you might finish eating and drop I drop the plate on the floor and say, I'll pick it later. And maybe the whole office is smelling, and that experience becomes so bad. And then the next person after you, the lecturer says, don't even bring anything. And then you're so angry. Why is this man hostile? You're not looking at the fact that someone else has done something bad. So my point is that how do we look at lecturers who would not want to have such conversations with people?
Yeah, I would say there's nobody above like having that conversation, because I think it's more or less the way you present the comment. If you are going to like attack him, obviously he to want to defend himself. Yeah, so I think just bringing your head down.
Yep.
This is just like final year. You're almost done. This is not time to be carrying shoulder up and be trying to prove a point.
Yep.
At that point in time, your destiny is in his hands or her hands. So I would just say,
not in the hands in Jesus' name. I bind the spirit. Bismillah. Your destiny is in your hands. Please go.
I would say at that point, just be humble. Yeah. Be as humble as you can possibly be, and try to reason with them. Yes, I know some of them have had horrible experiences with like students previously, which is why they're behaving the way they are. So I would just say, be as humble as possible, approach them. And I think that kind of work should have been done prior to even your final year. Because if you have been known in the department as a pompous person, it's not final year that you will not be trying to.
Exactly. Yes. So I think a meeting point for all of this, and I speak as a humble person, not to want to give you what to do, because I know Gen Zs will say, don't tell me what to do, I know what to do. But I've noticed that it has never failed me. I don't know if it has failed you, but being respectful has never failed me. And this is, I'm respectful to conductors. I'm respectful to, maybe one day we'll discuss on how, conductor took my change and there was no change, and he got so emotional and he's shouting at me, and I was just there in the bus sitting, and I was looking at him, and I was like, "Oh God, please find my change." Eventually he said, let this guy go get back in. He just saw that calmness. So I'm always saying it, that respect has not failed me. I don't think it has failed anyone. But people say, they're riding on me. My point is that as a student, you should not be that object of, they know you as, you are
terrorist.
Exactly. Because to God, and to God be the glory, and my family, and the training I received, I've not had issues with the older generation, in delegating duties, even with lecturers. That's why I look like then I was the lecturer's favorite. Not anything, just that even to the last day, even to when I even came back to go and greet them, I still prostrate. I still say, "You're my Oga." Even when, probably, I don't know, we might be earning almost the same thing at this point. But all of those nuances should not get to you. And so it will help you to, have that relationship. So I believe that that weekly circle would happen when, let me not say never, but some people are terrible, some people are horrible. But I think there's a way you can always break through the guards of lecturers.
Yeah,
I think you can. And we've not had that bad experience. Probably we can have somebody that maybe was respectful, did everything, and that one, then you're dealing with the devil's younger brother. So but I just think to have that comeback weekly circle, you just have to come back. And again, I think there's one part that I will also want us to stress, is how students interpret things. There's this interpretation where you think this person is wicked out. Exactly. Or this person is out for you. And
wants to see your downfall or your failure.
And so many times, somebody will say, the lecturer planned me, the lecturer did this and did that and did this and did that.
Some of these lecturers, they have families. There are a lot of things going on in their lives. Yeah, you are the least of their worries.
I remember joking with one of my lecturers, still my project supervisor from Nigeria, and we're talking about, I think there was a circulation that I think he's moody or something, that he didn't catch people in exam hall. It was trending in OAU. And so he sent it to me that I see these fools, that they feel that we think about them. And that's the truth. Lecturers don't really think about you. Once they are done with whatever, even if they get you in exam hall, once they are done, they have a life. So that weekly circle, I think the way to break it with your lecturer is just to, again, continue being respectful. Eventually, I think we are all human. Maybe some people are not humans, but that's the way I would say for somebody who have this. They call it the come back next week cycle. So
and I think one thing that obviously not that time, but now, working in a supervisor now, one thing that has been helping me is that weekly. No, come back next week. The question is that, okay, sir, what am I supposed to bring next week? What do you want to see next week? So it does come back next week for what? Action points.
But to an average Nigerian lecturer, that would sound insulting. So let's make it better.
No, you just say, sir.
No, I think it should be this way. That's sir. This is what I have done. Can you advise me on what I can do to make this better? Because if I'm trying to put it from a wicked person's point of view, and this is what I have done, and what should I do now? But you be me or something ask my grandfather or something like that. But you can always just approach it with, I'm planning to do this next week, sir. Do you think it will work out? Because I still believe that we are all humans eventually. There should be that soft spot eventually, but again, it depends on how ready you are and your attitude towards work. Yeah. So there's also this, someone sent in a question about lecturers who have issues with Microsoft Word.
What kind
that was
of issues?
The first time I heard it. I think that maybe they are not as good with it. Then when they notice that you're trying to automate a lot of things.
Okay.
That was the first time I heard it. So, what will you say? Is it that you?
The first time I'm also hearing it. So, like a lecturer having an issue with you using Microsoft Word.
Like to automate things, like you know that in my time we automated everything, the page number, references.
How's that an issue?
You know, I was one that even wasn't that when we're discussing all of this.
I get.
Yeah, but
like I've not had a lecturer that
they are used to just the manual.
Okay. Oh, is it like they feel like you're being lazy if you use these tools?
When I saw the question, I was dumbfounded. I was like, "Ooh, okay."
I think there are a lot of layers to it.
In that case, I think you should have to document, copy and paste, have the rough one that is rough. But I believe again, with the advent of ChatGPT and stuff like that, I think everybody should be up to date with. I mean, we were doing this in school then, where page numbering, everything, you just automate it. Anything you're changing, it automates. And
the automated is not sounding like it's sounding complex. It's not something complex. It's just page number. Like Microsoft Word also has. You don't even need to go to the AI route.
Yeah.
Microsoft Word itself already has like automatic page numbering, table of figures, things like that. All the things are already in Microsoft Word, so you don't have to do anything. Not like manually you go to figure one and then change it and then go back to reference it somewhere, or to play with page number. You go and look for the page number and then come back to the.
If you have problem with this, maybe you can put it in the chat box. You can find a way to help you. But
I've not heard it. This is my first time hearing it.
When I saw the question, I was like, oh, okay. So what about those who write having to write projects under pressure? Maybe no electricity, because again, some of these problems we didn't encounter it, and again, thanks to OAU, I give it to my school. We had electricity. We had the privilege of even having access to internet, even if it is one way or the other. But so, what will you have to say to someone who they are always under pressure, no light? They have to contract it to someone to help them write it. What would be your approach to someone like that?
That's a big question. It's actually because we cannot relate.
Yeah.
OAU students. So we
OAU MEC students. Let's put it that way.
No, like even OAU students. Okay, true. MEC students, because there are some students that I met.
Yeah.
And then they are going to cafe to give somebody else time. I'm like, this is not hard. But anyway, I think what they used to do is that they would just handwrite it. Yeah, they handwrite it, and then they'll give it to somebody to type. I'm serious.
Handwrite project. Wait,
like
sorry.
People in arts.
With pen up.
With pen up. The handwriting.
What? God, I can't imagine that.
No, they're speaking from it. They will say you're speaking from a place of privilege.
No, it's not privilege. Okay.
No, like if
they didn't take
now not you. Like now we have like computers. The time they didn't have computers, what are they doing? So,
that's true, right, because even that part 4 CV course, I think before it was you handwrite. Yeah, they're telling us to rule the sheet and all of that. That's true. So, but it's so alien to me. Wow.
I think that's what people that like, or some people is because we have our laptops and everything. So even if there's no electricity, you can charge this phone, charge our laptop and use it. Some people that don't have computers or don't have laptops or don't have this thing, they can type on their phone.
Yep.
So that's another thing. So instead of typing, maybe writing, handwriting, you can always type it on your phone.
Can even use Google Word or Google Doc.
Google Doc, exactly.
Yeah, which is
there's even Microsoft Word, an app on your phone that can sync to your laptop or a computer.
It's actually meant to be a paid version. So Google Docs is free, yes.
Really?
But yes. But we. Oh, you forgot it. Microsoft Suite in Nigeria. You forgot to have.
I know Microsoft Suite is paid, but I thought like Word on its own.
It's paid
on the app.
That's what I'm trying to remind you, that in Nigeria it's Suite that we used to install, but it's installed with.
Why am I talking like as if it's been a long while? But anyway, so you can use you can use Google Docs for it, or you can just type on what do you call it, like Notepad. It's text.
Yeah,
you can always copy and paste.
Google Docs should be your best. I think there's this one that starts with W. There's this app.
Jeez.
I've forgotten the name.
I think I'm seeing the logo.
Yeah, so I think that's another option. So you don't. And again, please. One thing I've noticed is that we are not people who try to do things in bits to a final destination. We like this overnight pour 8 hours into it. I believe that from when you're gathering things, when you're studying papers, begin to write out your project, begin to, at least literature review, for instance, you're piecing it together. And so it's not that it's one night to bring chapter 1 and chapter 2, you just pack everything. So I think that way to help you to not write under pressure. Also, if you have to contract it to people off campus, then as my wife has said, please write with your pen and paper,
or type it on your phone.
Or type on your phone, at least.
I think because the thing is that like people feel like, oh, maybe how many pages do we used to do as reports? If I don't remember.
Mine was almost 80 pages.
Yeah, but like at least maybe like
at least about 40.
Yeah. So the funny thing is that like if you're on social media, you don't know how many pages you've typed.
Yep.
Because they just type. If they compile everything, you see, oh, I've written a lot. So just treat your report that way.
As TikTok.
Like I see, you're just chatting. I just keep it. Look, I have this notes. This is on my phone
or iPhone.
Notes. Yeah, this notes app. So I always type. Like if I remember something, I'll just go type something, leave it there. To save it. If I don't mistakenly close it or delete it. So things like that, it might not be just one night that, okay, you're looking for inspiration. Some people wait until inspiration, and that inspiration is always judged by deadline. So just as much as possible, just start. Maybe one sentence here, maybe read one paper, or you read something and say, oh, this is interesting, let's write it down, or just notice that somewhere.
Okay, to one of the major topics before we close this, I think we've spoken a bit. So how should you prepare for your defense day drama? What are the nuances, around your topic? And also, I think people don't do this. Should you have conversations with your supervisor before the defense on possible questions? Because, let me just ask a question so I don't bring myself in. So what would be your preparation guide for someone going for a defense, and how to tackle questions? Also, what are the conversations they should have had with their supervisor before they go for defense? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to kind of speak based on what I've learned in grad school.
Okay.
So even while in school, like don't see defense. No, like people have this kind of fear of defense that, oh, they're going to tackle me with questions. So don't see that they're trying to tackle you. Just see that they're asking questions because they want to know what you're doing or what you have done. So when they pose questions at you, don't see it as they are out to see whether I know. If you don't know it,
so your first advice is that perception is key. And I think that's still what we're going to sum everything to, because many times people hold different perceptions. This person asked me a question. Who hates me? And
I think here, because the funny thing that here, if you don't ask a question, they feel like maybe you're not even interested in the topic. It's when you ask questions
or you didn't even understand. Like, it's now that when I have presentations and people don't ask questions, I technically, maybe I'm happy, but technically I'm not happy, because it shows two things. It's either they didn't understand what you're saying,
they're not interested,
or they're not interested, or there's nothing novel. That's another part. That
everything you're saying
is something they know. So it just makes you feel like, oh, I've not done. Because if it's something, they'll say, oh, okay, you had this frequency. Oh, so yeah. So perception matters.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So perception matters. So, and also, which goes without saying, do the project yourself. If you do the project yourself, you know what the project is all about. If you outsource
the project yourself, do the project yourself.
Let's say simple things like maybe homework. If someone asks you a question about a homework you did, you know.
Oh, you even be the one that you want to, when you do something, you want to.
Exactly. That even if you encounter the problem, you say, oh, I tried this, it did not work. But if it's somebody maybe outsourced it, you don't have that hands-on understanding of what's exactly experience of what the thing is all about, because you feel like maybe you outsourced it and the person just gave you the report and then starts trying to cram the report. You cannot understand it overnight. I don't know how, because there's a lot of things maybe you are doing. It might not even be something like simulation or I did hardware. It might not be something like that. It can even be something like data collection. I know some people that did like ergonomics.
Yeah.
Just go and ask people questions. Like even that experience is also like it's an experience, data collection experience. So, but if you outsource it, you don't have that experience, and you cannot get it by just reading a report.
And I think that's why some supervisors again
are very confrontational when they ask questions.
They know that what you have been doing through the weeks is so that day it's really painful really for me that on that day the person that's supposed to guide or even like defend you is not the one throwing questions at you. Maybe he's just trying to understand what you're doing. I'd be like, what? And so that's why I believe that you should have conversations before you go in. Explain if it's the weekly circle where you've not had conversations then, because mine was really involved. On that day, he even traveled. He was not around. He didn't influence. He just said, my boys, that issue for them, like all of us. And he should, because it was a relatively new field, simulation and all of that, we didn't get a lot of questions. We just, when we left, because we had it consecutively, we overheard one saying, our more professor, like our more boy, and so we were just laughing outside that like we and because it's a relatively new field, and at that point I had a conference paper already. We had submitted like one paper international, so it was already like leave these guys there.
I think even like in my own my own project, I developed and actually built a 3D printer. So because the technology was not new, but just building something is kind of fascinating because you're directly engaging with a physical object. It's not simulation where you're looking at picture and chat.
I see what you do. But we have validations too, that we have validated models, real life, that we compare and our results match it. So we good.
Like even in my project now, like the system we have in my lab is primarily built by me. So anytime my supervisor goes somewhere, say, this is the person that built the like even those people that use our system. The time one of the new hires or potential hires came for his lecture. I told you I attended lecture, and then I went to do the meet and greet lunch afterwards. So one of the grad students that used our lab, he was already, because that one is also editing manufacturing, so he was editing him about like the system, like our blue laser system. So when I walked in, because I went there a bit late, when I walked in, I was like, this is the person that built the system. So it's just like
fresh.
It's not something we just watch on YouTube.
But it depends. Again, it depends on what you are building.
If you're not
because those that built, there's this project in our department that's always department in Nigeria, that's always outside the ring used to beat. If you build that,
no wind pin, what's that?
I don't even know. Like I don't want in under my Magato did build something like that, or all of this, maybe grinding machine, all this. If you build that type of thing, the questions they will ask you, because it's something they've been familiar with over the years. So it's
something just having something new.
Or even if you're doing something that's
like improving,
and you understanding how it works, because you see that many times people don't understand.
You just go and then even in our class, people will just say, "Please, can you hear me draw this thing?" Because you learned how to use Inventor
and SolidWorks.
No, I learned SolidWorks afterwards. That time it was just Inventor. Yeah, so someone coming to me, please let me to draw this thing. It's me that will draw it. So the experience that you should have in modeling, you don't have it. It's me that will draw it for you. You just go and meet your guy that see the picture, and then maybe it's asking you how to do. Maybe you do something, or maybe you have to fabricate it later. You go and outsource it again to the machine shop to fabricate. So you don't really have.
What have you learned
exactly? So what did you do? That's like some. I think I don't know who was asking that. What exactly do you do? Did you do? The drawing is not you. The fabrication is not you. You just brought it and came to present. So what did you do exactly? Like, it's not just about throwing money at the project. That maybe this person to draw, take money. This person to fabricate, take money. Like, what exactly do you do? Well, what have you learned in this whole situation? This is just business of transactions.
So 2 take-homes from this: whatever you're doing, know how to do it well.
Yeah.
And be very good at it. The next one will be that you should have good discussions with your supervisor.
Exactly. It's
a problem when it's your supervisor that's asking you questions. So we should
that's not the time you should be asking. Like, you should have answered all the questions before that time. So that time he's just clarifying point for you. Or maybe there's sometimes that some things come up at that point in time.
Oh no, he should be. I mean, he should be the one to stand in.
Yeah, to explain what maybe
Exactly.
maybe there's a gray area, or maybe you didn't say it well. He can maybe say, "Oh, this is what this person means."
Yeah.
Like, but that conversation should have had before.
So
not that time that you're looking at it for the first time.
and so I know usually it's also submit reports. So is that report they glance through?
Yes.
And all of it. So I just believe that you should have some conversations before that time. Also, I believe that you should at least put in your best. You should know how things work. For instance, I think one of the questions that they wanted to ask us, but we had a we're stupid boys. We had a place for probable questions, so we're giving the answers before they ask the question. So what equation? That's a very basic question. What equation is ANSYS solving? They say Navier-Stokes, and then you begin to say, oh, it's the laminar part, and then is this one is the velocity, is the u velocity, and you're trying to. So all of that, you could also do that so that you understand the probable questions they will ask before.
I think you can only need probable questions when you are directly involved with what you're doing.
So it goes back to being directly involved.
Exactly. If you are involved, like working on the project, maybe something. No, and I think one thing that I learned here is that also put things that you tried that did not work. Like there are things that I tried. So it's not for example, like even my final year project, the print head, which was like a binder. Like a binder novel. If you're familiar with the binder jetting technology of additive manufacturing, I did the binder jetting.
Because of you, I know binder jet.
So the binder head that's supposed to emit the binder, I was not able to control that, the nozzles, because there is an array of nozzles that you have to control with this chip that it had, and I could not recode it. So it was already pre-coded, like things like that. So, and then I explained that, this is the issue I had. So it's not as if the system was working. It was just that the nodes were not emitting anything. And I said, this is where I got to. Later, maybe I might take it up, maybe if I'm less busy or if I have money.
I like.
No, actually, it's not something I'm actually interested in, but it's just that I'm doing something different now. Still additive manufacturing, but a different technology, LPBF.
Okay.
So if it's something that maybe later in the future I can maybe postdoc or God knows, it's something I'm interested in doing in the future, but at least I've thought that they've seen what I have done so far. I put up my drawings, put up my models, they saw the parts in front of them, so you cannot say I did not do it, they saw it in front of them, so things like that. So if being involved, you might not get everything right, like the objectives of the project, you may not meet everything, but if you meet some and you have like some bottlenecks, I'd include the problems you faced. Although, you should have spoken to your supervisor about the problems too.
I wanted to remind you that in a Nigerian context, you say problem affects you. So it depends on the context. I noticed that where we are, you always want to be forward about things you faced, how you solved it. It even makes you make you look credible.
Yes.
And also, if you could not solve it and you're planning to solve it in a later work, it's something.
Future, like what do you intend to try?
Exactly. Or something you document for another person to continue even in your absence. Again, that's another research point, another funding source. So it just keeps on going like that. So yes, that's all we have for today. From next week, we're going to be talking about the survival tips for you as a final year student, how to survive, probability of if you're working and you're doing project. I think I was a bit in such a scenario, so we can have such discussions and such things for you as a final year student, and probably we'll also give some tips in future episodes to freshers, their expectations and the university reality. So that's all we have. Any last words?
Like if you have any questions about, I think we didn't really go too deep into that my final year project. It really stressed me out. Like I had to. Okay, I think you followed me when I went to.
We'll take that in probably the next episode.
Yeah. So I had to leave Ife to go and look for somebody that had more information to ask the person questions. The traveling up and down the place, travel to the border to build the system. Like
we'll not talk about funding because that was possible.
Exactly.
Because of your privilege, but
sure.
Yep. So till next week, guys, stay tuned, subscribe to follow the conversation. If you've not seen last week's one, please go and see last week's video and see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.